It happened in an instant. Margaret, a 75-year-old woman who had always been strong and independent, woke up as usual at 6 a.m., just as she had for decades. She had always believed that staying active was the key to aging gracefully, but on this particular morning she made a mistake, one that nearly changed her life forever. As soon as her alarm went off, she swung her legs over the side of the bed and stood up too quickly. Within seconds her vision blurred, the room spun, and before she could grab onto anything for support she collapsed onto the floor. When she woke up, she was in an ambulance on her way to the hospital. The doctors told her she had suffered a fall due to a sudden drop in blood pressure, a condition known as postural hypotension. She was lucky she didn't break her hip or suffer a serious brain injury, but many others aren't as fortunate. The reality is that after the age of 70, our bodies change in ways we might not even realize. Simple habits that once seemed harmless can become serious risks to our health, mobility, and independence. Every morning, millions of older women unknowingly put themselves at risk of falls, heart problems, strokes, and even cognitive decline just by following routines they've had for years. That's why today I want to talk about 6 dangerous morning habits that you must avoid if you want to maintain your health and stay independent for years to come. These small changes may seem insignificant, but they could be the difference between living freely and relying on others for help. Are you ready to discover the 6 morning habits that will help you stay healthy, live stress-free, and enjoy aging to the fullest? Let's dive in. Habit 1. Getting out of bed too quickly, a risk you shouldn't ignore. Have you ever woken up in the morning, stood up, and suddenly felt a wave of dizziness wash over you? Perhaps for a moment your vision blurred, your balance wavered, and you had to grab onto the nearest piece of furniture to steady yourself. If this has ever happened to you, you are not alone. Many older adults experience this sensation, and while it might seem like a minor inconvenience, it can actually be a serious health risk. Research shows that more than 30% of adults over 70 experience postural hypotension, a condition where blood pressure drops suddenly when transitioning from lying down to standing up. This happens because during sleep, the body's circulation naturally slows down. The heart isn't working as hard and blood pools in the lower part of the body. When you rise too quickly, your heart and blood vessels don't always have enough time to adjust, meaning your brain doesn't receive the oxygen-rich blood it needs right away, leading to dizziness, lightheadedness, or even fainting. For younger people, a moment of dizziness might not be a big deal, but for older adults, losing balance even for a second can be incredibly dangerous. One of the biggest risks for seniors is falling. Studies have shown that falls are the leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations among people over 65. What makes falls particularly concerning is that as we age, our bones become more fragile due to a natural loss of bone density. This means that a seemingly minor stumble can lead to a fractured hip, a broken wrist, or even a serious head injury. And unfortunately, recovering from a fall isn't always easy. Many seniors who suffer hip fractures never fully regain their mobility, leading to a loss of independence and an increased reliance on caregivers or assisted living. So what can you do to prevent this? The key is to slow down and allow your body time to adjust. Instead of rushing to get up as soon as you wake, take a moment to gently stretch your arms and legs while still lying in bed. This helps wake up your muscles and encourage better circulation. Once you're ready to rise, don't immediately jump to your feet. Instead, sit up slowly and stay seated on the edge of the bed for about 30 seconds to a minute. This brief pause gives your cardiovascular system time to regulate blood flow so that when you finally stand up, you're less likely to feel dizzy or lightheaded. If you frequently experience dizziness in the morning, consider keeping a glass of water next to your bed and taking a few small sips before getting up. Hydration can play a crucial role in maintaining blood pressure stability, especially in older adults. Additionally, if you take medication that affects blood pressure, it's a good idea to discuss any morning dizziness with your doctor, as adjustments to your medication or routine might be necessary. By taking a few simple precautions each morning, you can greatly reduce the risk of falls and injuries. Remember, protecting your mobility starts with small, mindful actions, ones that can make the difference between a safe, independent life and one filled with unnecessary health risks. So tomorrow morning, before you rush out of bed, take a moment to pause. Your body will thank you for it. Habit 2. Exercising on an empty stomach, a hidden risk for older women. For years, many women have believed that exercising first thing in the morning before eating is a great way to boost metabolism and burn fat. While this approach may work for younger individuals, it can be risky for older women, particularly those over 70. Exercising without eating first can put unnecessary strain on the heart, blood vessels and muscles, leading to dizziness, weakness, muscle loss, and even cardiovascular complications. Studies indicate that up to 20% of hospital visits for fainting in older adults are linked to sudden drops in blood sugar or dehydration, both of which are worsened by exercising on an empty stomach. After sleeping for 7 to 10 hours, the body is in a fasting state, meaning blood sugar levels are naturally lower. For younger adults, their metabolism quickly stabilizes these levels. But for older women, glucose regulation slows down with age, making them more susceptible to sudden energy crashes. Blood sugar levels in seniors can drop by 10 to 20% overnight, enough to cause dizziness, confusion, or weakness if they start exercising immediately. This increases the risk of hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, fainting, and falls, making fasted workouts particularly dangerous. The American Heart Association warns that working out without food can place excessive stress on the cardiovascular system. During exercise, the heart rate rises and muscles require glucose for energy. If the body lacks fuel, it may break down muscle tissue instead of fat, leading to muscle loss, reduced strength, and frailty. Sudden shifts in blood pressure and heart rate can also increase the risk of irregular heartbeats, blood pressure drops, and even heart attacks or strokes. To exercise safely, it's important to eat a light, balanced breakfast beforehand. A small portion of oatmeal, a banana, whole grain toast with peanut butter, or a handful of almonds provides enough fuel to stabilize blood sugar and prevent energy crashes. Staying hydrated is also key. Drinking a glass of water before exercising reduces the risk of dizziness and keeps circulation stable. Aging doesn't mean giving up physical activity. It simply requires adjustments to support overall health. Eating something small before working out ensures better endurance, stronger muscles, and a reduced risk of complications, making exercise safer and more effective in the long run.